What's up, everybody? Welcome back into the Play the Fight Song College Football Show. Another action-packed week is upon us. It is week 3 in college football, and it feels like things are in full swing, gentlemen. We've got 3 weeks down. Start of the week 3 slate looks pretty good. We got some great matchups to break down tonight. We have 5 marquee, and then we will break down some additional ones afterwards. Check out our G5 Game of the Week preview streaming on our YouTube starting tomorrow as well. We appreciate you being here. Hit the like button to start off tonight's show. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. If you're a recurring guest, welcome back. The full crew is here. Jake, JP, Reese, myself, we are here to break down week 3 college football, and there are some matchups you are going to want to see. But first, we have to recap week 2. These recaps are presented by Frost Buddy. Shop Frost Buddy at frostbuddy.com/PTFS. Use the URL frostbuddy.com/PTFS so they know we sent you. Shout out Frost Buddy today. Let's talk to the gentleman. JP, how we doing? Ready to break down week 3? How you feeling? Have you recovered from the Iowa loss this weekend? And yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts. I think the people are curious if they didn't listen to your Iowa fan perspective yet.
I think a lot more of the thoughts were like, I didn't feel good going into the weekend. It was how it happened again. It was like, it just felt odd. Like it just didn't look like prepared. It didn't look ready to go. And a lot of it was just a little frustration. It was, kind of what it was type thing. And there was nothing I could kind of deal with it after. I think I got more of the frustration out of just like the immediate reaction all over the place to like the sky's falling and all this stuff's happening and whatnot. And then like some other stuff I covered to this topic. Like I think 2 guys on Iowa Everett was like, Iowa should play more of this Moneyball style and like never spend the money on quarterback. And I'm like, what the fuck do you think we've been doing forever? That's what Ferentz does. Like it's literally always been what Ferentz has done.
Casino Kirk.
Yeah, kind of jumped into that, and I talked about that on the fan perspective and my thoughts on that whole idea. And not that it's wrong, but it's ignoring a lot of Kirk Ferentz behavior. And so it is what it is. Like there's nothing I could do about it. Yeah, it pissed me off pretty good, but I mean, when you come out and you have a game plan lacking as much as it did in that spot, they didn't have to look good anyway. They can look like shit and still win. I mean, they out Iowa Iowa.
That's exactly what I said as soon as the kick went in.
They said fucking move the ball 30 yards, and they said nope, sorry, can't, because we can't scheme anybody open.
2 F-bombs out of Jordan already this
yeah,
week.
And
an S one.
Not often do we get to hear the exact opposite side from the same game of our fan perspective. Our fan perspective, if you're new to the show, are streaming live on our YouTube right now. They're week-to-week shows where we break down recaps and preview the next opponent. We tell you about their opponent, our thoughts on the team. So check those out streaming on our YouTube right now if you're an Iowa State, or Nebraska fan. Jake, give us the other side. How did you feel? You probably had a great day.
It's literally like JP just said, that was the exact words out of my mouth as Gronowski threw that ball away on 4th and 11. I screamed, we just out Iowa'd Iowa, like verbatim. We played their game. We forced them to beat us, or I guess they more so forced. How do I say that right? They tried to make Iowa State.
They made you beat them. They never beat themselves.
And they tried to make Iowa State make the mistake and just didn't. I mean,
bounce a ball, man.
Well, that one, and yeah, bounce off a ball's guy's leg. We're not. I thought Rocco.
No. The punt was a wrong call.
I know. And
I'm talking about the 2 tips.
And then the tip pass. So we're even. It's like it's a wash there. It's a wash.
You can control a flag getting thrown. You can't control a ball like landed in someone's palms.
I was worried on
when we play between the lines.
Early in that matchup, I was worried on the ability to finish. Like Iowa State getting down there, I really thought they could have gotten 6 on a couple of those trips, and Iowa's defense was just stout and getting them off the field and then taking 3. But it was fun to watch. I mean, it was exactly what you thought it would be, kind of. I mean, we had somebody actually hit the score prediction on the nose. So GA, if you're listening to this on replay, find us a way to send us an address, whether it's on X or however you can reach out to one of our accounts. All the messages are open. You get your free No Rivals cap, which we'll talk No Rivals later. But Reese, how you doing tonight? No skin in the Iowa or Iowa State game, but how you feeling about week 3?
Syracuse came off a win. We got our first one last week. We got Fran making the boys run sprints after the game. I'm not. No, come on, man.
Wins a win.
We're holding to a standard. We're disciplined, we're accountable, relentless, and we're tough. That's what we are up there. We're running sprints after the game. I'm not sure why we didn't play that great, but I mean, Steve's looking fine. Defense is just a bit of an issue. We came out slow, but now we get Colgate coming through this weekend. So we'll see if we can stack another one.
We'll see if Syracuse can take down America's favorite toothpaste. All right, let's go into the week 2 recaps in general. Let's break down these games. Let's talk about some questions that we can address. Let's start with question number 1. This goes for everybody. What did you think the most shocking result of the weekend was? Jake, you first.
You better pick it, Chief.
Have you checked the box score or the play-by-play drive of the Oklahoma State-Oregon game? I mean, it's just...
That was the most shocking to you? Because it was dismantling.
I think it's safe to say you expected a pretty bad beatdown, but to that extent,
that was that should have been done to a lower level FCS program, and they de-pantsed a Power 4 program by, Gundy says it, they don't have as much money as Oregon, but you have the money, you have the resources. Like, there's no excuse in the world that any Power 4 program in America should get beat that bad by anybody. I don't care if it's Georgia, Alabama. I don't care. Guys, it was 69-3 at the end of the third, and it could have been more. I tweeted it out there.
To punt.
They caught 3 touchdowns in 7 plays in the first quarter. That's really hard to do. I don't know if how you're an Oklahoma State fan. You go to a game the rest of the season. I don't care what the rest of the season even looks like, because that was mind-boggling. Like, you could see a 56-7 or whatever. But that game could have been 100-3. It really could have been.
JP, what did you think the most shocking result of week 2 was?
It's Colorado State. Man,
oh my God, don't get me started.
I don't know how he still has a job. I understand we're a couple weeks
saying it for 2 years.
For anybody,
we won the game.
The guy that's a fan. But you guys know we know Northern Colorado's bad, right? Like, we know that as
pretty much at every sport.
They're not bad at hoops every once in a while. They're bad at everything else, right?
Like, there should be more so, like, no offense, like Division II. That's really how bad it is.
2021, that program is 7-38, including 1-22 in the last 2 years. That is not a good team, and it is not apparently really bad Colorado State team. So, like, to get in that kind of a dogfight and kind of, I don't even know how you argue as that fan base, like, and say, oh, well, here's a new angle. It definitely hit the ground. Buddy, you about lost to Northern Colorado. It shouldn't matter if that thing hit the ground. You almost think maybe he did catch it. You know what? We can move on with everything, because that's a stunner, man. I mean, that's otherworldly bad.
All right, Reese, give us your most surprising result.
I thought Shave was going to go here because I had this team as my dog's dog last week, and Shave's like, don't fall into that trap. But I think USF going into the swamp and like winning the way they won, like it was a different ball game, like when they did with Boise State, where it was just everything was going for him. Like, it was gritty. Byron Brown is just a baller. Golish is a hell of a coach. Like, it was a gritty win. You got to go on the drive at the end to win a football game. Like, the way they did it, going on the road to an SEC, and now you go to Miami this week too. Like, the way they won, it wasn't like granted, that's usually if your G5s are beating your Power 5, something like that. Like, it's kind of more of an ugly game, it's like a high scoring capacity, something like that. But this was just a good football game by USF, and also just like seeing how awesome it was. Like, the coaches just fired up after that game. Like, they're sharing the same hallway with the Florida coaches, and like you're watching them just down, and USF coaches just scream at each other, like just fired up. Like, I thought that was one of the more so I think it's surprising the way they won. The reason why I picked them is because I thought they were at least going to cover that. But the way they won that game, I think, is what's the most surprising. Because Florida just tried to play with their food and just didn't do what they needed to do.
For mine, I went to another game on the bottom ticker of the graphic, and I would less classify it as surprising and more as an eye-opener for college football fans, I'm hoping, and that's Illinois drubbing Duke the way that they did. Because the game was fairly close for the first quarter. Like, Duke got out and scored first, and then just as you watch the game, Illinois' offensive line took over, and Altmaier looked like, a fifth-year quarterback. And here they are, putting up 45 points on the road in a game that everybody had tabbed as a top 5 game of the weekend, and we previewed. I just hope it's an eye-opener for college football fans to realize what Illinois can be within the Big Ten this year. But it's early, I understand. But still, eye opener and surprising to me that they ran away with it like they did on the road. So that'll be my answer. Any clapbacks to anybody's picks, JP?
No, I just I think of that Illinois Duke game, like they're tight throughout the whole thing, and you're like, oh, it's two programs, like it'd be better than we thought. We thought Illinois would be good. I had them in my playoff, and it's like as they pulled away, it's like that old Geico commercial where it's like he's dang.
Oh, you almost had it.
Duke.
Oh, you almost had it.
Yeah, all those turnovers didn't help, man. So
college football relevancy, and it's just Illinois or somebody like dingling. Like you got to be quicker than that. Like,
yeah,
the whole time.
I will give myself credit because I know JP. We went back and forth on whether or not Duke fans would show up for the game. They did not. I think they thought it was a basketball game. Maybe they would have, but good Lord, that was a way bigger matchup than the school gave it credit for. Jake, any thoughts on USF Florida? Anything else by everybody's surprising choice? All right, here we go. Moving it down the line. Let's fill in the blank for this next question. Blank is not who we thought they were through week 2 of college football. JP, you first.
It's Kansas State, and I will not hear another word about it. All right, cool.
Did everybody have that?
Simple.
I had a different one. I thought we were going to go somewhere else.
I took the cop-out answer because it's that bad, guys. It's that bad.
I mean, I thought they had it. Like I checked it. It was in the car ride home. Checked it, looked down. Army had the lead, and then Kansas State took the lead with like a minute left. I don't even know what happened, but good Lord. Our boy, the fried AKC is in the chat. Vegas is giving away free money. Betting segment. End of the show.
Yeah, we're gonna keep
Jack State. By the way, that went under the radar this weekend. Jack State owns Liberty. Like that did not get enough coverage enough. I was like, wow, okay, we're doing this again.
The G5 took the backseat to national coverage yet again, except for here. Never here. We will always cover it. Reese, fill in the blank. Blank is not who we thought they were.
I thought we were going to go to the Clemson Tigers. I mean, you go down 16-0 to Troy at home. You got to come back and claw your way to win that game. But if Troy's quarterback just doesn't have the bad day he has and the 3 interceptions with some bad reads, like we're talking about Clemson in a whole different capacity. Like people like people across all of sports are like, this is a national title contending team, and like national title contending teams, I don't think let Troy come in.
We gave that up. We gave that up last week. I put that one to bed.
You gave it
16 and nothing.
You gave it hard.
I was about to. So I thought Shea was going to go first. He's going to fire off some more. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, Cade didn't look great. He only had 179 yards. Didn't run the ball. Like he ran the ball 31 times for 120 yards against Troy, who granted they're a solid team as well. But like this is a team that's coming into your place, who you're paying money to come beat the shit out of. But they just didn't do what they needed to do. Again, without those 3 interceptions, I think Clemson easily could have lost this football game.
And we will break down the Clemson Tigers just a bit more later. Jake, was that your team too, or who do you got filling in that blank?
I kind of went the opposite way with this segment. Mississippi State is not who we thought they were.
Positive. Good for you, Jake.
On the positive side of things.
Shafe, a happy.
That doesn't happen often with Jake.
He's always a happy guy.
Positive Jake. Always a negative. Call me around here.
Positive Jake.
They call me Big Ten Jake. They call me Positive Jake. This is what they know me for around these parts. I would say, I mean, I don't know if Mississippi State's going to win 6 games this year. You can tell it's a whole lot different from what they had last year. Like they can tell it's turned around. The defensive line actually looks like maybe it could hold itself up in the SEC if they stay healthy, because I don't know what the depth's like, but Shapen looks fine. And I do think they're going to catch a couple of teams and start Vegas this year. And it's just bright and day, a better difference than what
night
they
day.
Yeah, thank you.
Not bright and day, night and day.
Yep.
It's what are you cackling about, JP?
What is JP?
He's just laughing at
the giggles.
So we were talking to like Big Ten Jake, Positivity Jake, like giving him nicknames. And I was just thinking of a No Rivals hat, right? With just positivity written across it. Jake's wearing all the time.
What about no, JP, it's one of them upside down hats that says positivity.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
It's just the Jake is all it says on their website, and it says positivity upside down.
Our boy Nick, if you're watching, get him made. We'll make him wear it. Shout out to Fried AKC for the comment. One of his favorite pods. Keep up the great work. We appreciate the kind words. We love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Think about this though. That's actually an idea. We got like the positivity right up here, upside down, and then we got our logo right on the side.
Anything to cover up that piece of hair. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go. One big takeaway from this weekend. One big takeaway from week 2. Let's go to Reese first, who seems like he's got it under control.
You guys. I'm gonna go with Bo Prabula. I think you talk about this game they had. Like, I think we got to put a little more respect on as a thrower. Like, he came over to Mizzou. I thought Bo's gonna be in like a running capacity, but the dude threw for 334 yards. Was 30 for 39 and had 3 touchdowns. I mean, it helps when you have Coleman and Norfleet out wide too. But I think the game was slow, but then they just took over because I think of Prabula, if he's able to throw it too, and you can't just load the box up all the time, and then you got to spread guys out, like he's going to be able to take advantage of you over the top and in the box as well too. So I think he figured out that. And like also in this game, like Kansas ran the ball for 3 yards, which is kind of shocking. But I think you just got to put more respect on Bo Prabula as a thrower.
I tried to find a headline for this one that maybe wasn't going to be taken, and I went to the side of the SEC where, fellas, I think I'm taking away that I'm not so confident in Georgia as I thought I'd be at this point with the competition that they've played. Jake's shaking his head, but 28-6.
I'm gonna get to my point.
Okay, we'll talk about Georgia later, so I kind of want to save the reasons why, but I have my concerns about Georgia and what they want to do offensively. They only put up 28 against Austin Peay, and they won the game 28-6, but I have my concerns with their offensive scheme. Jake?
It's not necessarily like your specific comments towards Georgia, but it's just my overall point. One big takeaway from the weekend could go through for all college football fans. Guys, let's remind everybody.
Week 2. Here it comes. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, you said it. You said it.
Okay.
It is week 2.
We observe. We don't overreact.
You're not going to win the national championship next week. And then your coach is probably not going to get fired next week either. So maybe turn it around either way. Either relax your expectations or just like, let's push the brakes on, the season's not totally in the dumps. I think of like Kansas State. It's funny that they're just like season's over because they got 1 loss in conference play. They run the table. They could still get to Dallas. And that's just one example. Like, I know the Army loss was bad. It wasn't good. Let's clear that up. But I mean, everything is like the Big 12 is still on the table. And Kleiman's still telling his guys that. And Brett Pry's not getting fired tomorrow. Sorry to tell you, Vatek. And neither is Billy Napier. Because he could turn it around and get a win this weekend against LSU, and all of a sudden Sunbelt Billy's back. Or I guess maybe Sunbelt Billy is gone. I
think you want
to get rid of those.
Billy.
Yeah, SEC Billy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm sorry, Parks. Like, I'm sure Nebraska fans are the same way. I'm sure Iowa State, we're living very high right now. But like, quarterback could go down next week. Like, let's just all relax here. Let's just take it 1 week at a time. It's just a good reminder.
How am I right now?
Tuesday.
Well, you're doing such a great job, and we're getting like 6,000 views on Akron, and everybody's just so excited because they're
the best fan base in America. Jake, don't make people. We shouldn't watch it. Don't watch everybody. That's our advice on this show. That's good.
No, it is good. It's great. It's just a lot of people are very excited right now. And
Zips had a lot.
I'm happy for them, but
Zips have not scored a point yet.
It's also okay.
Also,
are they the only team that hasn't scored a point in FBS play?
Are.
Okay. I thought about that the other day.
Doink a field goal and blocked field goal kept it that way. JP, we still have to hear from you. The
ACC's hopes of 2 playoff bids lies in the state of Florida. And if it ain't Miami and Florida State, it's one or the other. And I want to know where that other bid goes. Let's see what happens with Notre Dame this weekend. Does the Big 12 find itself in a spot, right, where you're 11-1, 12-0, or 2 11-1s going into play for a conference title? Is there an extra Big 10 team that's in there like a USC? Or, I don't know, like maybe there's another SEC team. It feels like that spot is just slipping from the ACC and it's going to go to somebody else. So I think that's the big storyline early is like, man, if Clemson don't win this weekend, I'm sorry, but it's those two or nothing else. If Miami gets clipped, that also is bad news bears.
There is another game that I think a team could make it out of there, just that we'll break down, and you could probably guess who I'm talking about, but we'll get to that later. I like that. That's very true because it's slipping fast, but Florida State does look kind of insane again. All right, last point. Let's go back to the G5. Let's talk the G5 candidates. Who's stepping forward as it seems to be early? This is a little bit of an overreaction, or at least what we've seen now of the G5 candidates for the college football playoff. The listed ones are Tulane, USF, Texas State, and James Madison. How do we feel about these 4 teams? Is one sticking out? Obviously, USF at 2-0 with a win over Florida probably would get the bid today, but that's just not how it works. JP, give us thoughts on that.
Yeah, I just think when you're looking if Boise wins out, that means they'd have to go win. I'm not really saying they're going to do that, but a 10-2 Mountain West team getting pumped by South Florida and a loss to Notre Dame doesn't really scream they're getting in. We don't know San Jose State yet. They haven't really had a shot to really play for this bid. USF's the obvious favorite right here, but I think the Sun Belt's getting a little overlooked here as well. Like, I think there's some teams in the belt that could really make some noise. That's why I have JMU in there. And I mean, is there anybody else that I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing a big one here. There you go. That's also true.
I was just thinking of our boy
this
here.
weekend. They're cooking a little bit, you know.
Yeah, and week one wasn't bad enough that it would keep them out, like against UCF. So I agree.
I feel like we're missing. Does Maggie got something to say? Does Maggie have something?
Yeah, Maggie, my dog, has everything to say apparently.
I feel like are we missing?
Shuffle her out.
Are we missing an American team like Navy? Navy's still out there.
The University of North Texas is still out there. Jake,
Memphis. Memphis still hosts Arkansas. Is that next week?
Tulane, obviously.
Well, you have Tulane, but Memphis is on. Like Memphis hosts Toledo's a good one. Lost to Kentucky, but we'll see.
Miami of Ohio, I thought was going to be real had a shot to go get Rutgers last week, and just didn't. I just don't think they had it in them 2 weeks in a row. Ohio, right?
Yeah, West Virginia. They went over West Virginia.
They would have beat Rutgers. That would have been
2-0. They'd be talking about
Yeah, and we'll learn a lot about them again this weekend against they have Ohio State.
Oh, that's right.
You didn't see the clip that came out today of Ohio's head coach talking about how Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith are two of the best receivers in the country. It's a tough look.
Caleb Downs could probably play receiver. Let's be honest. But
have you guys seen the video of the Ohio Bobcat, like the mascot, running out and like
beating the hell out of Brutus?
Like all Brutus is like running out with the team. He goes out and tackles him.
Hell yeah!
Need that energy again.
No mascot fight will ever beat the Arizona State Sun Devil and was it Oregon? It was Arizona State, and they were absolutely throwing bows to them.
Those were real haymakers. Like
they were. Look up the clip if you haven't. That would be that is good entertainment. But all right, that's the week 2 recap. Covered a lot of those games. Obviously, some massive ones that we didn't touch on. Mississippi State, huge upset win against the Big 12 top-ranked team in Arizona State and the reigning champion. Jake, you got any thoughts on Arizona State in that matchup?
Again, I think it goes back to like relaxing after week 2. Yeah, it's not a great loss for the Big 12, but I do think I saw things where I'm like still confident that Arizona State's going to still be a contender in this league. Like I didn't take away that game where I was like, oh yeah, they're terrible.
You think it was an ego thing? Like they were like,
I definitely think I thought they thought they'd walk in there and kind of push them around. And that definitely, like, they ran the football really well in the fourth quarter. And I think they had the physicality matched up, but also Sam Leavitt played pretty poor. And that last throw for a pick, I don't know if the ball slipped out of his hands, but that was one of the worst throws I had ever seen in my entire life. And he didn't play well at all, but they found running backs. So if Leavitt and Tyson still like get it together, I think they found a little bit of a Scattaboo replacement, which still makes me believe they're going to be still solid.
All right. That's the week 2 recap. I want to get Jake's thoughts on that big time upset for Mississippi State. Big win for that program. Maybe a step in the right direction towards getting back to somewhat of relevancy in the SEC. And that's what we talked about early in the preseason of our previews is teams at the bottom working their way back in the middle to help the conference. So we'll see if that pans out there in Starkville. All right. Let's go into previews for week 3. Time to flip the page. Week 2 is done. We're going to move on. No overreactions. It's time to move forward and use those thoughts from week 2 into our week 3 matchups. Let's start with Georgia Tech and Clemson. This game, very important for both teams. A lot can be answered for the rest of their season. You get a good idea of where they're at within the conference from this matchup. Mm-hmm. These previews are presented by No Rivals. ShopNoRivals.com, our great hat partner. Reese has got a sweet Syracuse orange No Rivals hat on. I got the new Herbie football version. Jake's wearing the Iowa State one backwards. Shout out No Rivals. ShopNoRivals.com. Use the code PTFS at checkout for free shipping on your awesome new hats for game day. Shout out ShopNoRivals.com today. All right, gentlemen, let's break this one down. I have Clemson down as a 3.5-point favorite on the road in Atlanta. Not sure if we've gotten a final word on Haynes King playing yet. I'm leaning towards yes because he's an absolute warrior. But obviously, that's very important. Jake, break this game down for us.
Yeah. Could we just save you 10 minutes and be like, is Haynes King playing or not? Okay,
Yeah.
he's not. All right, let's go on to the
I
next
saw
one.
somebody message him on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Ask him if he was
literally.
playing.
You gotta think he's
College
playing,
football
right?
fans.
I mean, if
just-
there's one game, right?
If there's one game and if there's one guy who's gonna walk out there with or without his left arm or whatever it was at Colorado, I can't even remember at this point. He's gonna make it work. It's not that Clemson's offense scares me because they don't, quite frankly, but the passing attack for Georgia Tech could be super limited on Saturday for a multitude of reasons. If King is still banged up, which I still believe he's not 100% fully healthy, so he's going to struggle to throw the football. And on top of that, is he going to have a chance to breathe? Because I've crapped on Clemson in a lot of what they've done so far, but the one thing I know is it's pretty legit is that defensive line, and that scares me for a team that lost two of its best players to the portal in Georgia Tech this offseason. So I think Clemson's defensive line is really going to make things hell on the Georgia Tech offense. That's just my biggest concern. On the other side, I'm interested to just see, like, if you want this offense to go for if you're Clemson, I think it starts with Klubnik's legs. I think his inability to get outside of the pocket and improvise on plays has kind of made this limited because they can't run the football right now. I don't think they can really find a running back that they truly love. And this is a good opportunity because I think Georgia Tech's still, again, struggling to find edge rushers after both of those guys went to the portal. They got Vandenberg in the middle, but Klubnik, get outside the pocket, use your legs, and I think maybe we'll see a better offense out of Clemson this Saturday.
What worries me with Clemson, and I love talking about Georgia Tech, anybody who's watched the show before knows that, is their pass defense. And what I saw against Troy is they were getting shredded in zone coverage. I mean, the middle of the field was consistently open for Troy. They beat them down the sidelines a few times, just completely broken coverage. And it could have been, you can use the excuse of a look ahead spot, I guess, for going into a game like this. But it was stagnant pretty consistently for that Clemson offense against Troy, and a couple of fourth down stops included in that. So they still got to find a back. Maybe they can do so in this matchup and slow the game down. But if Haynes King doesn't play, I was kind of impressed with Aaron Philo last week.
Philo threw it around a little bit. I think the difference, like you're talking about just the Clemson side of things, right? Like this isn't a new problem for them, right? You think about all the times that Klubnik had to bail him out last year with his legs late. I specifically think of the Pitt game on the road. They really needed something weird to happen. Ended up getting that win. 3.9 yards per rush versus Troy last week, 1.6 yards per rush versus LSU. I'm not comparing LSU's front to Georgia Tech's front because we're still learning about Georgia Tech defensively, but I can certainly tell you that 3.9 or under, I'm going to pick Georgia Tech to win this game. But on the flip side, like you talking about Philo, kid looked good, threw it around. They let him kind of be himself and throw the ball well. I think if you're Haynes King, like you have to protect yourself today or this weekend if you're playing, because you took too many hits during that Colorado game. You ran the ball 19 times. You're leading rusher. I understand there's a lot schemed up for him, but we can't get shots taken to us in the middle, like in the midsection every time we're between the tackles, because Sammy Brown and that's I still think Clemson's good on the front seven. And so I think that's a problem. But where can you beat Clemson? They have pretty good secondary. With the two studs, you have a receiver. Like, let the kids eat a little bit, make sure they can go get a football and help you out. So Haynes King, to me, stay healthy, stay upright, scheme things open to a point, right? And then maybe we lean into the run game a little bit and we just make it tough when we stay with our identity and not overcomplicate it too much.
There's a couple more points I want to make. And going back to what Reese said about this game last week with Clemson and Troy is the 3 turnovers Clemson's defense faced, and that really ended up being the difference in giving them field position when they couldn't get the ball moving. Fellas, all 3 of those picks were tipped, like in kind of crazy fashion. One went off of somebody's ass cheek. Another one got batted at the line, and so a DPI went away, and they gave him a pick. And the other one was a completely missed throw that was a little bit behind the guy, but tipped straight up in the air. So it wasn't really created picks, but just being in the right spot at the right time and missing a call. However, on the flip side, if you're Georgia Tech, I think a really key thing, and you got to get out of this routine when it comes to conference football, but they've turned the ball over in their first 2 possessions again. They did it against Colorado with Haynes King, and this weekend against a bad Gardner-Webb team, or maybe they could be good, but a team that they handled well. My Lord, you turned it over in your first 2 possessions. Can't do that against Clemson or good teams and win those games. So massive key to Even if you punt, that's fine, but don't give them any momentum in good field position to start. Reese.
Yeah, the turnover things are huge. Like, talk about Georgia Tech defensively. Georgia Tech defensively has only forced one turnover. They haven't picked off an opposing quarterback so far yet, too. So if they want to have any success, you got to cause chaos. Like, Cade has not looked his best so far this year. Like, look at what LSU do. Granted, you don't have the same dudes they do, but can you try to recreate some of that success and what they were able to do? Like, mimic what Blake Baker was able to do to get Klubnik to be uncomfortable, not be able to get out of the pocket, to try to use his legs more. But yeah, I just think it's going to be on the trenches is big too. We talked about that as well, but Brent Key, hell of a coach when it comes to his offensive line. Like last year, they were Joe Moore Award finalists, and he had to replace a bunch of guys this year too. But the trenches, I think, where this game gets won, if Haynes King plays, yeah, like you said, if this guy go out there without an arm, and I'll still want to take him because he's just a grinder. Because they turned that ball over 3 times against Colorado, and they still found a way to come back and win that game. So I like Tech in this spot.
I like that. All right, let's go to picks on this matchup. 3.5 in favor of the road team in Clemson. I'm sure that line has a lot to do with whether or not Haynes King plays. It'll probably come down a couple of points and be a pick 'em if he does. Gentlemen, what are we thinking? Who's going to win? Who's going to cover? Reminder, Clemson has a ranked number next to their name. Jake, you first.
I do want to say I think it's going to stay at 3. If he announces he's going to play, because it was at 6.5 or 5.5 this week, right?
I think it depends on your
6.5
book.
early.
I'm seeing 3s and 3.5s just about everywhere.
So
I think it comes down to 1.5 if it's official. I really do.
Okay, if that's the case, either way, I'm laying it with Clemson, and I know that I'm the Clemson hater around here.
What?
But I just said
this kid just gave a 45-minute speech
did.
a week ago about him checking out.
Yeah, no, and they're gonna go and they'll win this game.
This is a spot though, yeah.
It won't change my mind about him. It won't change my opinion about him one bit. And this is the game that Clemson does win. This is the game they go out and win, and we go, oh, national title contender. And we do that whole conversation again. I'm a little concerned with the health of King, and I think that the front seven of Sammy Brown and Wade Woodaz, TJ Parker, Woods, like he better not run the ball 19 times, like you said, JP, or he's going to be walking off. He's going to be getting taken off on a cart on Saturday, if we'll be honest. So I'm going to take Clemson.
Brees.
Yeah, as much as my heart wants to, like, I'm going to lean Georgia Tech in the spot. Like, I think the smart play is Schaefer to take Clemson, but I just want to take Georgia Tech in the spot.
I thought you were going.
You threw it for a loop there, didn't you?
I was about to slap them.
Boom! Boom!
Know the show. All right, JP, give us the right pick.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think Jake's right, but I'm not willing to just bet on this team.
Oh my God, am I going to do this myself again?
Yeah, you're going to go by yourself because I think the possibility of them winning this game is very high, but I think Georgia Tech knows what's kind of coming. I think they understand the spot that they're in, and just give me a hook. Like Clemson ain't going to blow. I don't think Clemson blows them out. Clemson plays tight games with good teams or even average teams. It's going to stay tight here. So I'll take GT.
Baby, can you hear that cart a-coming? That is the Ramblin' Wreck Georgia Tech and the ranked team assassin Brent Key. Give me the damn Yellow Jackets at home. The city of Atlanta is ready, gentlemen.
We should put an asterisk next to Park's pick on Twitter. Just be like, asterisk, he always picks Georgia Tech. It doesn't matter.
Georgia Tech.
It's a ranked team. It's Brent Key, Jake. Learn ball a little bit.
I like that, though. I like that.
Come on, Georgia Tech. Come on, at home. I love this game. This is going to be must-see TV. I can't wait for the national eye to get back on Georgia Tech a little bit. What?
I can't believe I'm doing it by myself again. We're doing this all over again.
Hey, I think we won a unanimous pick last week. Did we not?
We did win a unanimous pick.
Yeah, we won a unanimous pick. Yeah.
So you could have been a part of the second one, asshole.
Don't call it a comeback, boys.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. So that's Clemson and Georgia Tech. Let's keep it moving. Let's go down the line. Let's go to the SEC, and let's talk about a matchup that's long awaited by Vol Nation, a team I mentioned earlier in my biggest takeaway for week 2. Let's break this game down. It's Georgia and Tennessee. Georgia, 3.5-point favorite, on the road.
Yeah,
they are the dogs on the road in Knoxville. Let's break this one down from the top. JP, do it for us. You got the Vols on.
Yeah, I think when you look at these two teams, neither one's really been tested to this point. We're pretty sure we have an idea of like.
Take offense to that, Reese?
Yeah, I mean,
no comment, Reese.
Come on.
No.
I think we both have an idea
of
what Gunnar Stockton and Joey Aguilar are. And I don't think either one of them is going to be really entrusted to just go win this game for their particular school or their team. Like, they're both going to be a part of the machine and kind of keep the ship moving in the right direction. You look at Georgia on the offensive line, it seems like an offensive line that's not talked about as much. Tennessee's still good along the lines of scrimmage and isn't, worried about being physical or getting into that, the grit there in the trenches. But that's a really good offensive line out of Georgia. If they can find a way to kind of move the football and run the football and kind of control it, I think it becomes a tough test for Tennessee to try and match that on their side. Tennessee likes to run the football too. Like, people forget, Heupel's not just this air him out. Like, he is a spread you out, like sideline to sideline, and then stretch you vertically with the run game and a pass game to keep you honest. But we're going to run the football at Tennessee. And so I think I just kind of want to know how much Aguilar can handle against a really good defensive coordinator, against a really good defense in this scheme, because we've seen quarterbacks in this scheme when they're not great is just missing reads or being late to a decision in this Heupel scheme. Go see Nico. Milton wasn't bad when he was in, but he missed some things at times as well. When this is good, it has a guy like Hendon Hooker that is consistently hitting the open guy and making the right decision on time. When it's not, they look confused, they look scattered, and a ball gets placed too high, it gets completely missed in the seam, and then the run game sputters because the defense isn't afraid, to come up and help with the run, knowing that nothing's going to beat them over the top. I'm still like, jury's out on Gunnar Stockton, not really still sure on that. Upgraded receiver room, I think they're going to be all right. I think this is the right number. It's a really tough environment, but I'm kind of to a point where I trust Kirby a lot with what he's going to do with Gunnar and kind of make him work that direction. And they'll lean into being themselves again here. And maybe just like a friendly reminder to the world that Georgia's still around, right? That they haven't been a headline in months, it feels like, outside of bad stuff. Just don't get behind the wheel if you're committed to the dogs.
Their leading receiver missed 9 games by suspension in
2024. So I think this is a spot like win the offensive line of scrimmage on either side, and you got a better chance to win. But I'm going to put a little more trust in Kirby and Gunnar Stockton here. But it's a pretty low confidence level.
All right, Jake.
This might be a bad comparison, but it kind of feels like it's going to play out similar to the
Don't bring up Marshall again, but go ahead.
No, the Ohio State Texas game from week 1. I know these two are kind of older veteran quarterbacks that have played a lot of college football, but you get Joey Aguilar's first SEC game, big SEC game, versus Gunnar Stockton's first SEC game on the road. So again, it's a good measuring stick, and we're going to figure out, kind of what these two are made of. You mentioned before about the Austin Peay game. It feels like they were saving a lot for the first 2 weeks. Some people would say they were slow. There was a lightning delay 9 times last week. It just felt like you were sleeping at the wheel against Marshall, against Austin Peay. They weren't trying anything yet. I still have confidence in this receiving room for Georgia. And you're going to be going up against a secondary in Tennessee that's without Jermon McCoy and another starter. So I think you can take advantage of that matchup. It's going to be fascinating. And I think JP made a great point about how I think Georgia's just not getting talked about enough as that national title contender that they've been the last few years. So really interested to see. Something's got to give here. Either Tennessee's going to win this game and Aguilar was the best trade possible for Nico and this team can win a national championship, or Georgia goes in there and wins. It's like, oh yeah, we kind of did forget about how good Georgia is.
Fellas, is this a Kirby Smart setup? Because we talked about Georgia pretty much none the first 3 weeks, including week 0. And all of a sudden, and that was because of product of Ohio State and Texas playing. And then, they didn't play anybody big. And then all of a sudden, here they come. They're playing Tennessee. And you look back and you look at their scores and you're like, man, I don't know. Tennessee put up 45 points against Syracuse. Like, they looked good last week. God, you got to think Tennessee's going to be able to win this game at home. But, like, Georgia's still Georgia. So what I'm about to say, don't take it as that. But there's some issues there that was Stockton that they seem kind of limited in the passing game. Last week, they threw the ball 34 times against Austin Peay. 26 were completions, and 21 of them were screen passes. That's not a joke. 21 of the 24 completions were screen passes. So they're going to try and force Gunnar Stockton to throw the ball downfield. It's just not something he's done consistently enough in college football games. I think if Tennessee can plug the run, because we've heard Kirby Smart all offseason and even in his presser last week talk about they want to be a running football team, and that's how they establish things. It could slow the game down enough for Georgia to have a slight advantage, but I don't know, gentlemen. I feel confident in Tennessee with their defensive front. I like Aguilar in the late move. It just feels like something's going to work out for Heupel in this situation. It's just a gut feeling. I don't know what it is. I just don't have the confidence in Gunnar Stockton that I do with Tennessee playing on a home game like this. So I kind of like the Vols off of a gut feeling. What do you think, Reese?
So yeah, JP. I mean, JP wasn't wrong to talk about Syracuse. I mean, they look so good because you can run the ball and you own the trenches when you're playing that team. And like what helps Aguilar make good is when you have to commit to the run game, then you can get beaten over the top. And he throws a great deep ball. Like he's thrown a couple of those passes so far this year. So, but the thing is, this is a Kirby Smart defense who is going to be able to handle the run. So I think if you're able to limit the run and Aguilar is not able to burn you over the top, then I think this Tennessee offense is going to have a little more struggle. But if Tennessee is successful in running the football, because we talk about, they throw the ball every time. Like, no, they are a run first offense too in Tennessee with Josh Heupel and what he wants to do. And yeah, jury's out on Gunnar Stockton, but again, kind of like leaving with JP in this spot, I just trust Kirby Smart. And also, Georgia's won 8 straight. They've won 13 of 15. Like sometimes in life, it's just college football, and there's just rivalries that exist, and there's just teams that beat other teams because of their name. And so, like, this is a spot where I really like just Georgia to kind of go in here, do their thing. If they're able to, the big thing is if they are stopping Tennessee's run game, then I think Georgia's in a great spot defensively to handle this game, and I think they can cover the number.
It's all fair points to make with how this game has gone in recent past. Let's go to picks. Georgia, 3.5-point favorite on the road in Knoxville. Who you got against the spread? Who you got winning the game? JP, you first.
I'll take the dogs here. Low scoring, kind of like Jake was talking about. Outline me like a 24-17 type ball game. Georgia wins.
Jake?
Staring at that 3.5 on the road team, and it's just like the "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" song just comes across my ears. Yeah, I think Georgia just they've dominated Tennessee. That's one thing. Like Tennessee's fared well against Alabama, but I think Georgia has Tennessee's number, and I do think they're going to open it up a little bit and they're going to have success. Although I would just hammer the under in this game. I mentioned it's going to be like
What's
Ohio State,
49.5. 49. It's come down. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like Ohio State, Texas. Like they might throw 100 more screens with Stockton Parks, and it's going to be, good defenses kind of just battering rams going at each other, and might be a 20-17 kind of game.
All right. I can see that happening too. But like I said, I haven't had the confidence, I feel like, in this Tennessee team since probably that middle of that Hendon Hooker swing. So give me Tennessee. I like the Vols at home to at least cover, even if they lose on a last-second field goal, which is entirely possible because Georgia's Georgia and Kirby Smart's Kirby Smart. I just like the Vols. I think Tennessee Nation's going to be ready to go. We've seen Tennessee have success early in this game. If they can sustain it longer within this matchup, give me the Vols. Reese.
If Tennessee wears their black uniforms, they might have a chance, but I'm going the dogs in this spot.
All right.
I don't think they are.
No, I don't think they're wearing them either.
They're not.
They're wearing the orange.
That's the Halloween special. Orange. That's the Halloween special.
I don't think they wear the orange breeches unless it's got like title implications. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Tennessee fans. For a long time, that's
zero clue.
All right. That's it. That's the Georgia and Tennessee matchup. That one's going to be a ton of fun. It should be on CBS. However, it is not. So find that wherever it's playing. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the ACC in a non-con matchup. But, fellas, you go on the road to the Swamp and you win. You make it to the big time in the big board on the Play the Fights on College Football Show. Let's talk South Florida. Let's talk Miami. 18.5-point favorites are the Hurricanes. Let's break this game down. JP, do it for us.
Yeah, I think when you look at what this run's been for USF, I think there's some false truths in there. Truth being, yes, they've moved the football well on a couple teams. The false part of that being it's been anybody but Byron Brown right now. And he spreads the football well around. He has a lot of receivers that get receptions and a lot of touches. They got a couple running backs that split carries. But if you're being truthful and honest with yourself, him and his playmaking is the only reason they've won those 2 games the way they've won them.
Yeah.
He carries the football more than anybody. Obviously, being the quarterback, he kind of controls the entire play. But what does he also do? Get hit a ton, a lot. And he's already dealt with injury issues. he's going to go into a place here where the offensive line for USF's not bad. I think Boise gave him a ton of fits. Obviously, Florida gave him some fits. Problem is this Miami front's better than both of those two fronts combined, damn near. I mean, there's some real NFL stars on this on this defensive line for Miami. And so it's a different animal here. And then to do it 3 weeks in a row where you are part of a very, very high caliber hyped game is tough. And that doesn't mean they're not going to be ready to go. It doesn't mean they're overlooking it. It doesn't mean any of that. It just is a lot at baseline. Flip to the Miami side. I think Carson Beck's been good for him, really good for him. I think he was great in the Notre Dame game. I think people counted him out of being a bad quarterback at Georgia way too early. I think Miami here is kind of licking their chops on the offensive line. In South Florida's got a pretty good front too on the defensive side, but they're licking their chops being like, I can go over the top here. I can work here and pick on this kid in the secondary. And that's kind of what it's going to become. And they don't have to be anything other than Miami. But if Cristobal is going to come in here and be the coach, you kind of have to have the little Cristobal factor, right? What are you going to do to maybe lose this game? What are we maybe going to do weird that keeps that USF in this? Hope is nothing if you're a Hurricane fan. But the reality is something weird's going to happen to keep them around and kind of give you an oh shit moment. Like, wait, like we're 3 minutes left in the third. This is a 3-point ball game, right? I just think that there is a certain point in this run where it is too much, and you kind of have to think about it a little bit differently. Miami's a really good team. I think they're top 2 in the ACC right now, probably rightfully so, the way they've looked. Go into like this secondary for Miami is going to be able to cover guys. They proved it against Notre Dame. This is a pretty good receiver core, right? Singleton, Rubin, Nimrod, etc. is like 3 of the guys that USF flings it around to. I think they're going to be able to get covered. I'm worried about Brown, and if he tries to be hero ball too much and it becomes we have to manage the loads I'm taking in the run game and it's not designed as much, like we have to then stretch things in the field and maybe throws a couple rough ones that don't make any sense and they get picked off. I'd love for this team to go in there and make this a hell of a game because it's a hell of a story. And obviously Golish has got his connections to the state of Iowa. But I think Miami's too much here. This is the best one they've seen in this 3-game stretch.
Boys, is this 2007? I mean, we're sitting here legitimately talking about USF as like, can they go on the road and beat Miami with a team that's already won a huge matchup this year against the team that played the national title last year? I don't think this is that team. I think it's obviously a super impressive win, and JP talked about the Byron Brown flowers, and he deserves them, and he has taken a lot of hits. I did notice last week, though, when he got out on design runs or plays that he had to extend, he got down. I think you're going to see that a lot, and that kind of limits his game because he's a big physical runner when he goes after it. But to make it through a season and probably get to the end goal that USF wants to get to, they do not have to beat Miami in this football game. Mm-hmm. So keeping him healthy is honestly rule number 1 if I'm USF, even if I lose the football game. But they're on a hell of a run. I mean, you've seen how Brown can extend plays, and he's a game changer. But on the other side, I've talked a lot of smack on Miami, boys, and in this spot, I'm not going to do that anymore because I saw the wide receiver talent come with Carson Beck. To me, it seems like Carson Beck's playing more freely in an offense that allows him to do so. And I just think Miami has too many weapons that have impressed me to this point where I don't think South Florida is going to be able to limit a receiver group like they have with a quarterback that can make the capability throws like Carson Beck can. So I like Miami in this spot to take care of business. And this screams to me the USF-Alabama matchup from a year ago where it was a dogfight for 3 quarters, and then Miami scores 28 points in the 4th quarter and covers the number. And I don't know why, but I feel like this could be that game for the Canes. Reese.
So, yeah, you guys keep talking about Brown, and he extends plays. He's been sacked 5 times so far. That doesn't bode me a lot of confidence for this offensive line, too, going against this Miami front. So I think that's cause for concern. JP talked about the secondary being able to cover their guys. I just think this is one where it's just an attitude thing. I think USF so far, they're going to go in there and just give everything they got. Like, oh, we can lose this game and still be okay. Like, coaching staff, these players, they don't give a shit about that. They want to go in there and beat this team and continue on what they got. Give me this team with an attitude, like ride them while they're hot. Like you're giving me 18.5. I'm taking the Bulls.
I respect it. I can respect it. I got to process it, but I can respect it. I mean, when you're hot, Reese.
You're hot. Write it.
Yeah, that's the Alabama game last year is a good comp for this, Sparks. I kind of see it playing out that way. You don't want to. they're not going to go into this game thinking our G5 spot secured as long as we run the table in the American, we're good. We don't know this game doesn't matter. No, it's not how football is played. And if you know anything about Golish, the dude just walks with a chip on his shoulder, wherever he goes. So that's not going to be the case. But when you think of this Golish offense, you think high flying, maybe throwing the ball around a ton and really being effective with Byron Brown. And while they've beaten two really good teams, I still don't think the offense has really looked as crisp as we maybe thought it was going to be heading into the season. I think they kind of struggle in the red zone. Even their best play was just kind of getting that screen out to that running back and just letting him go take it. Like, it's not like anything Byram's created with his own arm. And on the other side, like, I think Miami owns the trenches in this game, both sides. You mentioned, JP, like, Carson Beck looked good for a couple of different reasons. And the main one, I think, is because the offensive line at Miami is just way better than what he had at Georgia last year. And it gives him time. And he's a good, clean pocket passer. He can make those throws when he's got it. And I think USF has dudes compared to like G5 defenses, but
yeah,
you gotta sense this is a long 3-week stretch of, Boise on a Thursday, Florida on the road. I know you're staying in the state of Florida, but you're another back-to-back road game because it's going to be tough. So we'll see.
Yeah, you can't give them an advantage for staying in Florida. Miami doesn't leave it for another 3 weeks. They haven't left the state the whole time. We talked about that in the preview season. So let's go to picks in this matchup. South Florida at Miami, 18.5. I believe the line still stands at in favor of the Canes. Who do you got covering? Who you got winning? Reese, give us first.
Give me the Bulls. You're going to be this big of a number. I mean, they
on the field.
It was a 17.5-point spread last week, and they gave up 16 points to this Florida offense. So even if they didn't score, they would have covered. Give me this team to cover again this week. And hey, if they win it, ride the Bulls. They're hot.
JP?
Yeah, I'm gonna lay it with Miami. But go prove me wrong. Like, nothing more would be more fun to watch them win another game and kind of control the state of Florida. That'd be all time.
Jake?
Great.
I took 16.5 on Sunday night. So yeah, I'm just gonna lay it here still with my imaginary 18 line. So give me Miami.
I do think it'll be a dogfight of a first half. I think South Florida will be in this game. Everybody will turn it on, and then all of a sudden a couple of fumbles. Miami's just athletes will make a couple of plays on the defensive side of the ball, maybe a couple sacks. Byram goes out or something weird, and Miami just starts rolling on offense. So I really think they cover the number here. Got the Canes at home. And I know we had a comment drop in. Player props, ? If you were to force one, would you have one, anybody? We're not usually a player prop coverage.
I'd have to look and see what do we even have? Can I get Byron Brown's under and passing yards? I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
But I want to take it.
Sacks.
Byron Brown over 2.5 guys he's going to run through.
Oh, the only USF. Holy
USF?
crap, boys. All right. Lock back in here. That's on me. It's bad hosting. But if we have any player props throughout the rest of the show that we know of, we'll give them to you. So thanks for listening. All right. That is South Florida and Miami. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next matchup. Let's go back to the SEC. Let's talk a little bit about Sam Pittman. Gentlemen, we haven't talked about the Arkansas Hogs this year. We've been down to the stadium together. It's fun atmosphere. However, they're on the road this week. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's team, survived another pretty thick dogfight with Kentucky, and they're a 7.5 point favorite.
Lane.
They're a 7.5 point favorite this weekend, JP. Jake, break this game down for us.
Yeah, this one will be interesting. It's another matchup that we kind of like similarly that we discussed earlier. What's the health of the quarterback situation for Simmons and Ole Miss? You raising your hand?
Just quick pause. Go Big Red, by the way. I saw that comment. I was going through my hosting spiel, but
he's talking about Arkansas, GBR. Go Big Red.
Shut your mouth. Keep talking about Ole Miss. Go
ahead. Oh, is that what he's talking about? Yeah. So I mean, the guy says he's going to be good to go, and he could have played. He could have went back in the game on Saturday, but I think somebody said I was watching the game a little bit. He didn't put any pressure on that foot, and he basically got carried off the field. So feels like coach speak. As this comes out, we'll know more on Thursday when the injury report comes out for the SEC. But watching Arkansas State for Iowa State stuff earlier in the week, like the speed for Arkansas, I think it's real. And now, is that a good comparison? Watching them play Arkansas State, probably not. But I think what Taylor Green has done on the ground with his legs in these first two games has been really, really, really good. 151 yards scrambling last week. And I think he's got an ability to do that again this year and against this Ole Miss team, because I don't want to say it's a complete 180, but this is not the same defensive line that Ole Miss had a year ago. And I don't even think it's close. So I think Taylor Green can just win the game outright with his own legs. But I do think like Omega Blake is a good receiver for Arkansas. And then flipping it to the other side, what I want to see, like you highlighted this kid Parks in our SEC preview, Caden Lee. He's had a really slow start to 2025, but Arkansas was his best game last year, having over 120 yards. So maybe this is his get right game to start 2025, but well, I don't know who's going to be throwing him the ball. That Trinidad kid, is he the Division II Ferris State transfer, the backup for Ole Miss?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think he's the Division II kid. But correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody,
I'm looking it up right now.
It's a big time difference within their offensive scheme. I mean, first of all, Austin Simmons being left-handed still kind of mind messes with me. Like you just don't see it very often. But I want to focus more on my thoughts on the Arkansas side, because Taylor Green's been exceptional to this point. I mean, he's got more touchdowns than majority of college football players combined at this point. I mean, he's 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But fellas, we've seen a bad version of Taylor Green. The under pressure, forcing stuff into multiple coverages and getting picked off and really putting this Arkansas team in a bad spot, especially defensively. But if he doesn't do that and they play a clean game with a backup quarterback over there at Ole Miss, and it could go the other way, this game could be closer than expected. I don't know if I trust the Hogs to go out and get a win in this spot, just because I feel like this is a game that Lane Kiffin could just prove all of us wrong and win by 30 points because Arkansas
did last year.
Yeah, it's not. We've seen this exact movie before. But one guy I want to highlight on the defensive side of the ball for Arkansas, which they've been pretty good at with 2 bad opponents to start the year. But Quincy Rhodes Jr., the 6'6" D lineman, leads the team in sacks, 3 sacks through 2 games. If he can get to the quarterback, all of a sudden you get really deep in your depth if you're Ole Miss, and Arkansas can stir up some trouble. So we'll see what the Hogs can do on the road in this spot. Reese.
So that's a great point, Parks, getting pressure, because Simmons hasn't looked that great. He's got 4 picks and 3 touchdowns so far. Like, hasn't looked the best. And getting this at home, very nice. I think that's why the line is a little higher than what it was. Like, if you're going on the road to Fayetteville, I think it's going to be a lot smaller, just because I think Simmons is going to turn the ball over again. Is it going to be multiple times? I don't know. But we talk about Taylor Green, like, hell of a quarterback. Like, as long as he is not forcing throws. Also, that guy just looks like he should be an SEC quarterback. Just a big dude, good arm, can run the football. If they're able to get him going early, I think Ole Miss, like we talk about, that Ole Miss defense is not what they've been buying in the past. Like, this defense is just not that. So I think Taylor Green may be able to take advantage of that defense in some spots. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, matching like Simmons has been so far, I think Arkansas is a spot where who knows they go in this game, but I think they can at least keep it within the touchdown.
JP.
Yeah, I think we're looking and missing like how much left this Ole Miss team. Look at the receiver room, a lot left. You replace a quarterback. You replace a lot in the backfield. And it's one guy that they got carrying the ball in Lacey, and Austin Simmons is second in carries. Like, for me, I think Arkansas is going to score. Like, I'm not really convinced that Petrino's not going to have Taylor Green humming, because, to be honest, the Taylor Green we've got at Arkansas has been a very different human being than we saw at Boise State for a really long time. Like, it's not the same person. And I just kind of think Arkansas is in this one to win it. There's a lot of guys that left Arkansas to get to Ole Miss a season ago. Not that has anything to do, but it sits on people's minds when you're part of the roster. And it is, by the way, that is the Ferris State transfer. Trinidad Chambliss, I believe is how I say his name.
What a name.
Might be bad last name pronunciation, but nonetheless, like, the cover 3 guys said this line would be flipped completely if he doesn't play.
I think they said it should. I think they said should. Should and would is different.
I just think it's a big jump.
Probably go down to 3.
And so I kind of look at Arkansas and I'm kind of like, I'll fall for it. I'll do it. We're going to go out swinging if we're going to go out at all. If I'm Sam Pittman, I'm in on this. I'll take 7. And Arkansas's got a shot to win this one.
All right. There's the first pick off the board in this matchup. I see a lot. Jake's calling the Hogs. I'm going to take his pick, but give us a reason why, Jake. You're taking the Hogs plus 7.5.
This kind of feels like a revenge game, fellas. Also,
We've seen, Jake, we have been in the building for an Arkansas revenge game for like probably one of the worst batch calls in college football history, and it did not go our way.
Knicks.
This is also just like complete like perspective, fellas. You remember like this was Reese's going away party, was this Ole Miss Arkansas game last year. Just the boys are all back and vibes are high. So we watched it at the bar in Omaha.
Yep.
And that was like the revenge game. They got absolutely, I laid it with Arkansas that day, or I guess I took the points with Arkansas, and they got throttled, absolutely throttled. Did Ole Miss score 60, 70 points? Hung a bunch on
Jacob, a lot.
And I love this spot. How many Arkansas players also transferred to Ole Miss over the offseason? And Sam Pittman
3 or 4
fired.
real starters.
Real dudes. I love this spot for the Hawks. Love them. Think they can win on the field. This would be an awesome start for maybe Sam Pittman's last ride to go get 7 wins and shock the world for Arkansas and have a good season in Fayetteville, where they also welcome a Notre Dame team in a week or two, and that game will be on fire if Arkansas can win this one.
And we're back down on Pearl Street. Isn't that what it's called?
No, I thought it was something. I thought it was like a smaller version of it's something with B, I thought.
I thought it was Pearl. Where are the Hog fans at in the comments? I didn't know
drop us in. What's the street with the piano bar?
Come get us,
piano
man.
bar.
Piano bar was
all
great
time.
bar.
Let's be honest.
Piano man.
I will. Jake, screw you for bringing up that going away party. Fun. Never want to send anybody away, but it was a good time. I did, however, try and jokingly order a gun from the waitress after Nebraska was beaten by UCLA. So that did occur. I can't think of anything else past that, but fun night. Reese, give us your pick on this matchup.
I think we're in a unanimous sweeping here, boys. Let's ride it while we're hot. Give me the Hogs.
Oh, no.
Oh, unanimous.
What do you mean? We had a unanimous pick last week, and it all hit, boys. We called it. We hit the ball rolling.
I'll save us. I'll save us.
You're going Ole Miss?
Ole Miss, yeah. I'll take Ole Miss at home.
Taking
Let's pray Austin Simmons plays. If not, maybe Lane Kiffin can dial up some trick plays, get the wide receivers throwing the football, do his Lane Kiffin style thing. But give me the Grove at home. I'll be the Lord and Savior this week. You're welcome. All right, that is Arkansas and Ole Miss. Let's go to the last game. It's the rematch of the opener from last year, Texas A&M and Notre Dame, this time in South Bend. Notre Dame coming off a bye. They haven't played in 2 weeks since that Miami game. Texas A&M coming off a nice win against UTSA. Marcel Reed looks good. Let's break this one down. Reese, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I think this one's going to come down to that A&M offense, and then that just what Notre Dame offense as well too. Like Mike Denbrock, he's made Carr look pretty solid so far. Like he was 19 for 30, 220 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception against Miami. We just spent a lot of time on that Miami defense and how good they look. I think Denbrock's going to have something figured up. They got to get the run game going. I mean, Love and Price, they just didn't have it against Miami. If he's able to run, that's going to get Carr a little bit more success. But again, the other side, you got a Mike Elko coach team where he was very successful at Duke, and that's at Duke. And you're going year 2 in the A&M with College Station. I think there's going to be a little bit of an attitude about this team too as well. You talk about Marcel Reed, guys look better. And then also, like, you know what helps out for Marcel Reed is when you got Colin Klein as your offensive coordinator, and you got guys like Concepcion and Craver along with Moss in the backfield. It's like there's a lot, I think, offensively for A&M to have to go into this game. It's if Notre Dame defensively is able to cause Marcel to go to those second, third reads, stay in the pocket, or try to get him outside to make plays with his legs, I think they can have some success. But the numbers are a little high for my liking, I think, to take Notre Dame in this spot. But again, I just think I think Mike Elko in this is a spot where he's going to have his team fired up to go in there and they can do some damage.
Jake.
Robert Henry for UTSA rushed for 11 yards per carry against this Texas A&M defense. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I watched the entire game and knew the whole circumstance of why they kind of gave up so many yards per carry against the UTSA team. But it feels like a good get-right spot for this Notre Dame run game that was slow to get rolling against Miami. Like Love, it was like quick screens and lack of running the football in the first half. And then they didn't really get Love the football. And then they started going to Price, and Price kind of got comfortable in the second half. Really just interested to see where they go, because they're going to need both of these guys to run the football again against Texas A&M, who, by the way, I think Miami's defensive line is a lot better than Texas A&M's defensive line. So I think it'll be easier for them to kind of get established coming off of that bye week. Utah State went 3 and out 6 times against A&M last week. So the defense still does feel like it's sharp, and we'll see what the passing attack looks like if you are CJ Carr. And this also just feels like a Marcel Reed opportunity for a coming out party. Like, I was pretty, I'll be truthful. I was not high on him in the offseason and had my remarks on him throwing the football. And he's looked very average against UTSA and Utah State so far, but maybe he can change the narrative come Saturday. But I think Marcus Freeman's going to have this defense ready for him.
There's a couple of points I want to make, and I want to open it up by I think this is a good time for Notre Dame fans to get back. We haven't seen South Bend rocking since the Indiana first-round playoff matchup, and this team made the national title. So I think they're going to get a pretty good and equal home-and-home split when it comes to atmosphere. But I think you nailed it, Jake. I talked about how much I hated Notre Dame's game plan going into Miami, how they tried to get the ball out wide to phase on early, and it seemed like it was kind of clicking, but they could never get the run game going. So that's priority number one this week. You can't have Jeremiah Love, the best, if not the best, top 3 running back in college football, going for 10 rushes for 33 yards like he did 2 weeks ago. So I think they're going to try and ground and pound it, force Marcel into a couple of because he's still a young quarterback, turnovers with their defense. Don't get into a bunch of one-on-one coverages because he got beat pretty often against Miami, and Notre Dame can take care of business at home against this A&M team. But it's also a great opportunity for A&M to get a little bit of revenge on themselves. So it could go either way, but I've leaned the Irish just because of the home field, and I'm still a Marcus Freeman guy, even though they lost for me week 1. JP.
I'm just pumped to watch the stable of running backs we got in this. Like Le'Veon Moss, Ruben Owens, Love, Jeremiah, Price. Like, I don't think there's a better set of 4 running backs in the entire
Carr
country.
and Reed, by the way. Reed's the leading rusher.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. A ton of fun. I do think that the front for A&M is still really good. I wonder how good the back end is still in some spots, but this is lower scoring, and it's going to take one weird thing. You look at the run made by Jeremiah Love last year in Aggie land, like in Kyle Field, and the gap in the hole he had to hit to read that. Go back and watch that. It's unreal how he got through that line of scrimmage and how well it was blocked. And it just tells you that 2 really good run schemes, 4 really good running backs, 2 quarterbacks trying to find their way. So where are they going to go? They're going to lean on the stable of running backs they got in the line of scrimmage. I mean, as boring, as cut and dry, black and white as you can make it, like it's the line of scrimmage for these guys again.
All right. There it is. That's Texas A&M and Notre Dame full preview. Let's go to picks. Who's going to win the matchup? Who's going to cover? 7 is the line. Jake, you first. You're the de facto Notre Dame guy. You riding with the Irish?
Yeah, A&M went 5 of 13 on 3rd down against Utah State last week. I marked that down.
At home.
You can't get in those situations. It's not going to work against the Notre Dame team and a Notre Dame front that I think is going to put a lot of pressure on you. So stay away from the 3rd downs if you're Texas A&M, but I don't see it happening in South Bend. So yeah, I will lay points with the home team by a touchdown.
Hit the rewind button if you didn't hear me. I'm all over Notre Dame. Love Marcus Freeman. Got to get the running game going, but love the Fighting Irish in their home opener. Reese.
I'm going to go A&M in this spot. I was high on this team early on. I have them in my SEC title. I think it's a spot where if you're going to give me 7, I think they're going to make this thing competitive. If they're going to be able to limit Price and Love, have some sort of success that Miami had, then I think Notre Dame gets to be a bit limited. But give me the Aggies.
Yeah, if it's set, I'll take 7. This is too low of a scoring game to not be.
I have 6.5.
How I'm taking it. I'll take 6. Basically, what I'm telling you is if it's over 4.5, I'm going to take this.
You're thinking 4-point win, 4-point.
Yeah, I don't think.
Okay.
I just don't think the cards are there for either one
out.
of these teams to blow out either one of them. I think they're too similar. They're handling things differently. He thinks it's going to get ugly. This is why we talk it, Jake.
You've been hanging out with Max too much. Shout out Max.
Yeah. I think ugly like a 20 to freaking 7 or something like that. I don't see
ugly and
20
ugly.
To 14 and you got a deal.
We don't have a deal because I need 7. So
backdoor cover.
All right, the 2-2 split to end the in-depth previews for tonight's show. That's the 5 marquee matchups. Rewind if you want to listen to Ole Miss, Arkansas, Clemson, Georgia Tech, USF, Miami, or Georgia and Tennessee. However, it's time to move on to the betting segment. Mm-hmm. If anybody doesn't have any more, does anybody have any upsets like a watch out? And this isn't a 3-point spread. This is a upset-ridden game. You can see the team winning it, but it can't be a 3-point or less spread. What do you got, JP? You got one?
You got to watch out if you're Virginia Tech. We're just walking around acting like everything's okay. Old Dominion does it quite a bit. That's all I'm saying. Just watch out.
I mean, I know Jake said don't overreact, but if that happens, probably might have a meeting on Monday. Right, Jake?
Sunday.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say that would be the Scott Frost Georgia Southern game right there. That would be the.
I mean, what
wasn't
the
that,
fuck, man?
Wasn't that in week 3?
It was. I mean, what the
so
hell?
that would be it.
Think of any other coach.
Everything about that play. Everything about that game.
Yes, okay.
Am I wrong?
My mind
another Sunbelt
Don't
team.
ever do that again. Okay.
Another
any other games? Anybody has out there? JP, do you have multiple? Jake, you got an upset possible game you feel is brewing? Reese?
Do you consider Vandy an upset win over South Carolina?
No, but I think it's worth talking about if you want to.
I mean, it would be an upset.
You said 3 points or more, so I think I saw 4 was the last time I saw it. I mean, I know we don't really take all that much into a common opponents, but when it's the first 2 weeks and your common opponent is Virginia Tech, I mean, Vandy looked much better in the second half than South Carolina did all game, and I don't know what I'm going to get out of that South Carolina offense at this point. I don't know if they have much of an identity, and you're just going to rely on Lenore Sellers making Superman plays at this point. But we'll see. I think Vandy's got a team this year that actually is just going to go, and it looks like an SEC ready football team from the trenches to its skill players everywhere in between. They got the best tight end in the conference probably, and Diego Pavia looks to have taken another step in his game, I think, too.
All right. I got one that stinks. I don't know if you guys are going to like this or not, but
share it with the people.
I did this one last week and nobody really liked it, but I mean, is this a spot where everybody's overlooking Florida? Does Florida go into Death Valley and they maybe play a little better? Like, do they everybody's overlooking Florida and Napier and Lagway, and like you just lost a big game at home on the road. So like everybody's like, oh, this team's awful. You're gonna go to Death Valley, you're gonna get stomped. Like 8.5, like it's still the SEC. Like Florida could maybe go in there and make it a ball game. It's stinky, but I don't hate it.
No, it's not crazy. I mean, nobody talked about it, but like La Tech was a little bit of a dogfight with LSU. It was ugly, but they stayed within that number by a lot. So not crazy at all. All right, now let's go on to the betting segment. Let's recap last week. Best bets are up first, and we'll go to the underdog of the week. Best bets last week went okay. We had a guy cover and a guy hit. Reese did not hit on Texas minus 36.5. I hit on Texas Tech minus 40 against Kent State. Easy money. Reese had that too. We shared it. JP, Ole Miss minus the 10 at Kentucky did not hit. And then Jake covered or over in the Kansas-Mizzou game. That one hit pretty easily. So we had some good best bets last week and a 2-2 record. 3-1 if you want to give Reese and I the same pick.
Also, why did I have it on the dock here? Texas Tech minus 39.5. Is that first half? Or is that full game? Because full game
it was full game. Yeah, it was that big.
It was 39.5.
I thought it was like 48.5.
No,
I don't think it was that big, was it?
No, I thought the close. I had the close line. I had 41, so I doubt it was 7 points dropped.
Okay.
Either way, they won by 48. If it's 48.5, ew. Okay. All right, let's go to the picks. Best bets. What do you like on the board this week? Who you taking? Jake, you first.
I really don't like over-under plays, but now I'm going to go back-to-back over-unders for my best bet this week. And it's
you taking mine?
You like anything?
Go to Friday night.
Okay.
Over 53.5, Kansas State, Arizona. Did I take your bet, JP?
Yep, that was mine. I got a backup though. Don't you worry.
Okay, I was gonna say I got another one if you want to take it, but yeah, I'll take
which.
I'll give JP time to process his backup. But I just think Kansas State and Arizona.
Yeah, I think the explosive plays were still there. They scored quickly on Iowa State. They scored quickly on Army. They scored a ton on North Dakota. I don't know what that Arizona defense really looks like yet. And I also, on the flip side, positive note, I do think the offense looks a lot better in Arizona, and that defense in K-State looks a little concerning. It feels low to me. I think we're going to get a lot of possessions.
JP, you got a backup yet?
I want that one, but since you had to change yours last week, it's not fair.
Too bad.
Right? Lay them with USC. 21 at Purdue.
Okay.
21 at Purdue. Fair play. Absolutely fair play. Barry Odom and Purdue, by the way, there. Reese, your turn.
I'm going to piggyback off his shape. I talked about the over in that Kansas Missouri game last week, and then he talked about an under in a game this week. I'm going to take the under in the Georgia Tennessee game at 49.5. I think it is going to be slow, sluggish. I don't think it's going to be high flying. It's going to be a lot of running the ball, and just give me the under in that one.
All right, there you go. The under in that matchup. So we have an over and we have an under on the board. Cheering for no points, tough, but you got to love it. I like that pick, Reese. For mine, best bet of the week, I'm taking it. I don't give a shit if you think the sky's falling. I don't care if you want your old head coach back.
Bama?
Wisconsin sucks. Give me Bama minus a 20.5. I don't care how much you think the line stinks. I think Wisconsin stinks. So I think
Billy Edwards going to play?
No. And I think Alabama rolls.
Yeah, I think they're home too. That's a good pick.
I had three best bets. I had Miami, I had Bama, and I had USC. Like we're all thinking the same thing, boys.
I really like Florida. I really like.
Good thing that's part of the next segment. So,
all right, let's go to the dogs. That is our best bets. Just to recap, Jake had over under 53.5. Kansas State, Arizona. JP on USC minus 21. What was the number on your game, Reese?
I have it at 50.5, but I think somebody said before it's 49.5 today. So 49.5.
An under
live 49.5.
An under
49.5. And then me on Wisconsin. On Alabama minus 20.5 against Wisconsin. That'd be a sick, nasty play if you took Wisconsin. You gotta be a sick old bastard. But all right, that's best bets. Let's go to the dogs. Dog underdog of the week has to be greater than 3 points. Gentlemen, let's go down the line. Last week, Reese cover with USF plus 17.5 and a win. JP, Ohio plus the 3, cover and a win. Jake, Baylor plus the 3, cover and a win. Parks' did not work out. However, tonight we bounce back. The standings are Reese is leading at 7 points. Jake,
come over.
JP in second, tied for second, 5 points. Me, a little bit below that. We're going to bounce back this week. JP, you first.
Oh, we'll let the winner go first. So just in case no one takes his, because he got his best bets. Yeah. He's leading the standings. He should be able to go first.
Okay, go ahead, Reese. Floor is yours.
I really want to do it, but I don't think they're going to win this one. I'm going to go Virginia's going to win. I am going to take Georgia Tech plus 3.5.
You knew it. You knew where I was going to go.
Yep.
And that's a moot point. It should be automatically mine. He knew it.
Yeah, but Parks. He's leading the clubhouse right now.
Parks, I'll give you one, Parks. I'll give you a winner.
You did this last year, I believe. Exactly.
And it always won.
It did not always.
Yes, it did.
Did you have a backup plan, Parks?
Check the tape.
I'll get one, no problem.
Parks.
No, I don't want your play, Jake. I want you to share your own.
Take the SFS.
I want your play.
Know what the SFS is?
Scott
Frost special. Taking Old Dominion plus 7. Nope. Just kidding. Don't want that one. I was going to give that one to you, Parks. So when Old Dominion wins when they win on the field, you can thank me later. But no, I got to put my money where my mouth is. I actually took this one. Let's go South Al. Plus 25.5 in Jordan Hare is what them people down in Auburn, Alabama like to say. Yeah, I love this spot for South Al. I think they can score enough points. And this is like the Hugh Freeze special. He just loves like taking a nap through this game. And maybe we even just get a backdoor cover here, or maybe South Al comes out and plays a little bit in the first half and keeps it close.
All right, South Alabama off the board in the dogs. Dog, JP, you're up.
Yeah, I wrote down 3. I'm deciding I just want this one. I think Air Force is pretty solid. I also think Utah State's got a shot to go win that football game. I'll take Utah State plus the 4.5 against Air Force.
Fighting Broncos.
Yeah, let's just have a little fun.
Absolutely. Aggies. That was in the running for our G5 game of the week, by the way. It's going to be a fun matchup. I guess I'll go kind of chalky with mine. I would have gone that way anyway with the marquee matchup, but give me the Tennessee plus the 3.5 at home against Georgia. I like the spot. I like Tennessee. I feel confident in it this year more than the rest. So I'll take the Vols at home plus 3.5. All right. That's everything. We covered a lot.
Florida for sure. We were just talking about that. Yeah, Jay was just saying like, so we're going to talk about that one later. I was like, you're going to take.
I thought he was going that direction. I had it on my list, but my confidence is low. But that's when they get you. That's when they get you.
All right, that's the entire show. We previewed 5 marquee matchups, gave you a G5 Game of the Week previews that will stream live tomorrow, so check that out. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, give us a rating of 5 stars, please, and thank you. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you're still here and you're on YouTube. We love you. We appreciate you more than you know. We'll see you next week for the Week 4 preview, along with the Week 3 recap. College football is king. So are you. See you next time. Jake, take it away.
Play it.